Hello, my name is Shaun Refutation. Today I'm going to be refuting Matthew Lade's claim that President Obama's cancellation of NASA's Constellation program was a mistake. First, I feel necessary to clarify his meaning of mistake. It's my belief that what he meant was that it lacked sufficient warrants to be deemed necessary. Therefore, my response is that the decision to cancel the program was in fact necessary. The advocate's secondary claims were: 1, the decision to cancel the Constellation program is fiscally unsound. 2, America's pride as leader in space technology will suffer. 3, replacement plans are uncertain in their effectiveness. I will respond and challenge each of these points, showing how they lack the evidence necessary to properly contextualize both circumstances surrounding the President's decision and the actual state of the Constellation program, thus creating a misrepresentation that leads to an inaccurate conclusion. Specifically that: 1, the decision to cancel the Constellation program was fiscally sound. 2, the President Obama's new program ensures Americans can be prideful in our space system program. And 3, that President Obama's new program is more stable and secure, and correcting the major design and implementation issues that were found in the Constellation program. First, the advocates claim that the decision to cancel the Constellation program was fiscally unsound. This simply is not the case. The decision to cancel the Constellation program was made based on fiscal necessity. This is the first point where the advocate claims that the evidence claim is not properly contextualized and it presents a misrepresentation of reality. The advocate was correct that 9 of the projected $98 billion had already been spent into the Constellation project. However, the advocate ignored the Constellation program was behind schedule, over budget to the point of depleting surplus attained in 2006 and 2007, and encountering numerous technological challenges. According to an inquiry report by NASA submitted in August of 2009 for the United States Government Accountability Office, they saw that the Constellation project was recognizing that the agency's total budget authority would be insufficient to fund all the necessary activities during the fiscal years of 2009-2010. Also, NASA's funding strategy relied on the accumulation of a large rolling budget reserve from 2006 and 2007 to fund their activities through the fiscal years of 2008, 2009, and 2010. The Constellation Program Manager also stated that these funding shortfalls were reducing his flexibility to resolve technical challenges. The Constellation Program tracks were unfunded mitigation and costs as threats in ARMA. The Constellation's ARMA system currently tracks 192 cost threats for Ares 1 and the Orion projects, totaling about $2.4 billion through the fiscal year of 2015 that they were going to use to resolve the technical and design challenges. The Constellation Program officials and contractor cost reports have increased in value of the Constellation Program's developmental contracts from $7.2 billion in 2007 to $10.2 billion in June 2009. NASA's inquiry concluded that with all these additional unforeseen costs, the committee recommended that the new NASA administrator direct the Constellation program or its successor to develop a sound business case supported by firm requirements, mature technologies, preliminary design, and realistic cost and estimates, sufficient time and funding before proceeding to implementation. This is NASA commenting on their own program and suggesting that next time maybe we should have realistic cost estimates, preliminary designs, and a strong business case before investing a ton of money. So we inserted Obama's new program, which according to an October 22nd, 2010 article by Space.com titled Voices, Experts Analysis Weighing on NASA's New Direction, the new plan for the space agency would forgo sending astronauts back to the moon, but would send humans to an asteroid in 2025 and orbit around Mars a decade later, and place a new focus on developing new technologies that were necessary. The administration's budget would also be increased from $19 billion for 2011 and a total of $59 billion through 2013, creates new opportunity to develop a commercial space industry. This is what the review suggested. Develop a plan, establish a cost, and develop the technology necessary before you implement it. The advocate also asserted that thousands of jobs would be lost. The new plan increases budget and focuses on developing new technology, and just simply cuts out the middle process of going to the moon, something we've already done. So how do we lose jobs when we're throwing more money and developing new technology. I just don't see how that's happening. My response to the second claim is that Americans' pride in leadership space technology will not suffer. In fact, we're not doing something that we've done before. Now we're going to go to Mars instead. We're also developing new technology, and we're implementing it in the way that has been suggested by everyone from the NASA administrator to the review committee and even the president himself. In conclusion, I've shown that the decision to cancel the Constellation program was necessary, that the decision to cancel the Constellation program was sound. It was over budget, behind the timeline. We've done this before. The new plan will ensure that Americans can be prideful in our space program. It's fully budgeted, has a definite timeline, will take us to Mars. And the new program corrects the major issues seen within the Constellation program by shifting its preliminary focus to developing technology with the more funding and the definite timeline. Thank you.
All right, well, you label the main points and then you label your responses, and so in essence you're previewing what the responses are going to be in addition to reviewing what the claims are, so it gets a little complicated at the beginning of the speech. I think you just remind us what the points were and then give your refutation points as you go along. That'll be fine. The claim about fiscal necessity, I thought you had an okay explanation about why your position is the reasonable one to take here. You need to edit your arguments a little bit more, make clear declarative statements, and make sure that the evidence that you supply addresses those particular points, because you've got these long passages of information that sometimes are relevant, sometimes aren't, and we want to get the key idea that's supporting the one point that you're making on the issue at the time. So that you need to be a little bit more discreet in what you decide to use as information in supporting those points. And you've got so many of these individual responses, a little signposting on them was not a bad idea, which is strange because once you get to the second point, you basically have a simple summary of the argument that you're making there. So everything's on that first point. And I think that means that you're putting all your eggs in that particular basket, and there's an assumption that they are all connected to each other. I think you may have a reasonable inference there, but I would be careful about not responding to the other points as well in a little bit more detail. All right, thank you.